I'm going to do it. No one believes me and no one can help me. These horrible, absolutely gut-wrenchingly fucked up things are getting closer. I'm going to pull the trigger before the others get as close as the last one did. Before I do that, however, I want you to know, I want to save you. 7 days ago, I ordered a peculiar set of glasses online from eBay. They were marketed as glasses to improve peripheral vision. Undoubtedly made from some guy in his basement. They were like 25 cents or something, but I was getting into downhill mountain biking at the time, so I figured if they even worked a little, it would be worth it. I didn't listen. The signs were all there in front of me. There was one other review, but it didn't make any sense at the time. It simply rated 1 star and said, "What you can't see can't hurt you." And then there was a little sad face made from a colon in parentheses. It seemed almost comical at the time. I didn't understand what it meant. There was also a section claiming customers who bought this item also frequently bought. There was only one item listed, a twin pack of sleeping pills. I thought this was odd for sure, but I didn't do anything about it. If only I had known. The glasses arrived 3 days ago, in a crappy cardboard box wrapped in newspaper. I was actually quite excited to see what they were like, so I ripped the paper apart and put them on almost instantly. They certainly did what they advertised. My entire field of vision was blurred and distorted, all except for the furthest reaches of my peripherals. This forced me to focus on them and base my sight off things barely visible in the corner of my eye. It was all good at first, it was actually quite fun stumbling around like an idiot. But then I got better. My eyes eventually had to strain less to see things in my peripherals, and the image became clearer. The glasses were working awesomely. That was the problem. The more my peripheral vision improved, the more I began to see them. Just hazy blobs at first that seemed to dart away when I tried to focus on them, but I soon began to make out silhouettes of what appeared to be people, standing all around me, everywhere I looked. Soon, however, I could make out their forms more clearly. They weren't human, not entirely. Their body shape was mutilated with elongated legs and arms that ended in large bony hands with lengthy fingers. Fingers that looked like meat hooks. Soon their faces cleared up too. I wish I had taken off the glasses before I saw. Their fucked up, decaying faces with hollow eyes, a gaping mouth full of snaggled, needle-like teeth, each almost a foot long. Bone shone through where their skin had rotted and peeled away, and when they were merely blurry, faceless figures, it didn't seem like they knew I could see them. But I was now occasionally making eye contact with their horrendous eyes, and they looked right back at me, before screaming and darting away from my vision. It was only when this started happening that I finally tore the glasses from my face and smashed them on the ground, but it didn't work. My eyes could still see the things in my peripherals with extreme clarity, and they knew I could see them. They could no longer hide just out of view because those fucking glasses had made me see. Every time I looked around a corner or anywhere, I would see one, and it would shriek bloody murder and dart away. But soon, they would crawl back into view and flinch and scream again. One in particular, however, seemed to be following me. I began looking over my shoulder, and it would always be there. It was slightly taller than the rest, with limbs stretched horrendously long, and it would just stand there, staring right back at me. It wasn't afraid like the others. It seemed angry. I tried not to look at it, but I began to realize that the longer I refrained from looking at it, the closer it was the next time I did. Finally, when I was beginning to hear it breathing behind me, I got my old handgun out from my closet. Shaking nervously, I pieced the gun together quietly, pressing it against my chest, trying not to let any of those things see what I was trying to do. They didn't seem to notice at first, but then, when I had it all together, I placed the magazine in and cocked the gun. It was louder than I had expected. The slide made a harsh clicking sound, and I instantly heard that thing behind me scream and start to run at me. I whirled around just in time to see its face, inches away from mine, mouth agape, hooked hands ready to rip me apart. I pulled the trigger and shot a bullet straight into its head from point-blank range. The back of its head exploded outwards and its body slumped onto me, knocking me down. I managed to push its lifeless carcass off me, and I scrambled to my feet. I began waving the gun around, shouting, "Leave me the fuck alone!" The others screamed and some fled out of my sight, but more and more were beginning to simply stand and stare at me. And so I'm writing this to you. Writing it as I can feel them creeping up on me. When I turn around, they stop in their tracks and stare, but as soon as I look away, they start advancing again, like some kind of fucked up game of red light, green light. I'm writing this to warn you. What you can't see can't hurt you. The next time you swear you just saw something out of the corner of your eye, or you do a double take because you think something just darted across your room in the dark of night, just leave it alone. Look away or just go back to sleep. Just fucking leave it alone. You don't want to see.